Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to Evergreen Garden, share this video with another gardener, and drop a comment below telling us what you're growing this season, because what I'm about to share will completely change how your plants grow if you apply it correctly. Most gardeners spend years chasing fertilizers, boosting NPK numbers, and constantly wondering why their plants still look weak, slow, or stressed. The truth is that plants don't just need food, they need biology. And there is one natural ingredient that quietly outperforms most fertilizers when it comes to faster growth, thicker stems, deeper roots, and long-term soil health. That ingredient is worm castings. Worm castings are not just worm waste. They are biologically active soil conditioners packed with beneficial microbes, plant-available nutrients, natural growth hormones, and enzymes that plants respond to immediately. Unlike chemical fertilizers that force growth, worm castings work by improving how plants feed themselves. When you apply worm castings, you're not just feeding the plant, you are activating the soil ecosystem around the roots. This results in faster root development, improved nutrient uptake, stronger stems, darker leaves, and better resistance to heat, drought, and disease. That is why gardeners who use worm castings consistently notice steady growth rather than short bursts followed by decline. Another reason worm castings work so well is that, well, they simply cannot burn plants. Even seedlings, cuttings, and stressed plants can handle them safely, which makes them ideal for both beginners and experienced growers. Plant growth always starts at the roots, and this is where worm castings really shine. Worms break down organic matter into microscopic particles that roots can absorb easily. At the same time, castings contain humic acids and beneficial bacteria that increase root branching. When roots branch more, they explore more soil, absorb more water, and access more nutrients. This directly translates into faster top growth and thicker foliage. Gardeners often notice that plants treated with worm castings establish quicker after transplanting and recover faster from stress. Worm castings also improve soil structure. In sandy soil, they help retain moisture, and in clay soil, they improve aeration. This balance allows roots to breathe while staying hydrated, which, is essential for strong growth. The simplest way to use worm castings is to mix them directly into the soil. For vegetable beds, raised beds, and flower gardens, just mix 1 part worm castings with 4 parts existing soil. This ratio provides enough biological activity without overwhelming the soil. When transplanting seedlings, place a small handful of worm castings directly into the planting hole and mix lightly with the soil. This gives young roots immediate access to nutrients and beneficial microbes, reducing transplant shock. For established plants, you'll want to gently scratch about half a cup of worm castings into the top few inches of soil around the base of each plant. And then, give it a good watering. Within 1 to 2 weeks, you will usually notice greener leaves and stronger new growth. Worm casting tea is, honestly, one of the fastest ways to deliver benefits to plants because it allows nutrients and microbes to be absorbed almost immediately. To make a simple and effective tea, just add 1 cup of worm castings to 10 liters of clean, non-chlorinated water. Stir the mixture well and let it steep for 12 to 24 hours. Give it a stir every now and then to keep those microbes active. Once it's ready, strain the liquid and apply it directly to the soil around your plants, or, if you like, use it as a foliar spray in the early morning or late evening. This tea is especially powerful for leafy vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, herbs, and fruit trees during active growth. Apply it every 2 weeks for consistent results. Many gardeners report visible improvement within just a few days. Container plants often struggle because nutrients wash out quickly. But worm castings, well, they solve this problem by improving nutrient retention and feeding plants gently over time. For pots, just mix worm castings at a ratio of 1 part castings to 5 parts potting mix. For plants that are already potted, simply apply 2 to 3 tablespoons on the soil surface every month and water in well. This slow, steady feeding keeps container plants productive without the risk of fertilizer buildup. Indoor plants, they really do respond exceptionally well to worm castings, especially those with pale leaves or slow growth. Regular applications often restore vigor without stressing the plant. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is using worm castings once and expecting permanent results. Like all living systems, soil biology needs consistency. Light, regular applications work far better than heavy occasional ones. Using worm castings every 3 to 4 weeks keeps microbial populations active and soil conditions stable. Over time, plants become more resilient, requiring less intervention and fewer inputs. Gardeners who stick with worm castings often find they no longer need synthetic fertilizers at all because the soil itself becomes fertile and self-sustaining. If you want plants that grow faster, stand stronger, and produce more without relying on chemicals, worm castings are one of the most powerful tools you can add to your garden. They work with nature instead of against it, building soil health while feeding plants in the most efficient way possible. If you found this guide helpful, subscribe to Evergreen Garden for more practical, no-nonsense gardening knowledge, share this video with a fellow gardener, and leave a comment below letting us know if you've used worm castings or plan to try them. Your garden will thank you, and so will your soil.